whenever it's someone's birthday, they tend to reflect on the things they've experienced, the things they haven't experienced, the things they want to experience, just how life has been going generally. And with a birthday, my birthday specifically, just passing a few days ago, I found myself thinking, like, you know, I'm almost 40 and I'm a loser. No, I'm not a loser. I'm average. If I was to describe myself and my social and financial standing, I would say average. But I guess average is today's poor. You know how they say, like what is it? Like 30 is the new 20 or 40 is the new 30. I'm like, average is the new poor. That's that's the best way I could describe it, especially with this economy. This economy's fucked up. That's how you know you're old, right? When you say things like that. But in this economy, but it is true though. I will say that I've been on my own for quite a while. I've been on my own for about 17 years. And when I say on my own, I mean like paying my own bills, having my own place, being independent. And I can tell you that this is the first year, 2024, where I'm genuinely worried about, like, hey, how long can I continue to afford to live? Like, to own an apartment, to, you know, buy groceries without burning a giant hole in my funds. It's been tough, man, and I do hope that something does change in the foreseeable future, because this is a frenetic pace to keep up, you know, to continue paying so much for goods and stuff like that. And I know there's lots of reasons why, COVID and, inflation and a bunch of other crazy shit. A lot of political dealings, our current presidential party, lots of things. I know things that are, beyond my comprehension, that's for sure. But I find myself thinking about how much I've been playing video games and how long, really, not so much how much, but like for a while. Like I remember, shit, I can't really remember exactly the first video game I've played. I think I've said it before. I think it was Pitfall on Atari. Might have been Super Pitfall. What is it? The 2600. I always get the numbers mixed up. I've never been good with numbers. 3800, 2600. I forgot. But the old Atari with the wood panel on it. I believe that's the first video game I've ever played, but at least it's the first video game that I can remember playing. So it's been a while. Like I would say I was single digits when I first played games. Maybe 9 years old, maybe 8 years old, something along those lines. But I do remember, and it's wild because it's like being a millennial, right? We we're an interesting generation because we were around before the internet and we are here after the internet. So we know what it's like before shit blew up, before AI, before Apple, before Internet Explorer. We were board games. We were riding your bicycle outside. We were swinging from the trees and, doing hood rat shit with your friends. And we're like I'm not going to say we're the best of both worlds because it sounds kind of cheesy and a little cringy. It's like those videos like, we're the best of both worlds. We can't stand Gen Z. We can't stand these new, what is the new generation called? Damn it. We're the millennials there. What are they? Um, fuck, it escapes me. I'm always seeing it online and all that. Fuck, it'll come to me. But anyways, I'm not here to shit on anybody, man. All of the generations have their faults and they have their strengths, and I would say definitely one of the strengths for millennials would be the fact that they know how to have fun even if electricity is not involved. You know, uh, I just realized how fucking ancient that made me sound. Like, we played board games made out of tree trunks. I feel like that's what I'm saying. But it is true. Not the tree trunk board game thing probably is true also, but I meant like that is one good thing that I am proud of being a millennial. We also share the millennial name with a lot of you know, blue-haired, wild-eyed, super liberal, extreme beliefs and propaganda spreading people. Millennials tend to be a part of that circle, sadly. I'm not a fan of extremism on any side, whether it's right, whether it's left. You're always going to have your extremes, right? And those are the ones that the media portrays the most, right? The wild-eyed, blue-haired girl that's screaming, not 9 months is not late for an abortion. You're like, wow, you're fucking crazy. And then you've got on the other side, the stereotypical hillbilly MAGA hat wearing, you know, guy that's just like, Jesus, leave it up to Jesus's hand if you get raped and get impregnated. Jesus will take care of the child. Like it's extremism. It's super easy to cover. What am I talking about? I'm supposed to be talking about video games. I'm bumming myself out here. Video games have come a long way. So have I, apparently. I'm an old man now. And I'm just thinking, right? I got a friend who's been playing video games for quite a while. He's much older than I am. He's I believe in his late 50s. And he was playing video games way before the Atari, apparently. And like back when nowadays you can play fucking Warzone on a calculator. You can play Fortnite on a toaster. Back then, in order for you to own a computer, it was very expensive, and video games were archaic. Like in his time, Pong was like revolutionary, right? And now it's like the bare bones of it's primitive, but the soul's still there. Now that sounds a little hippie when I say soul, but when I say soul, what I really mean is fun factor, right? Like you can play Pong, you can play arcade games like Pong, Pitfall, Arkanoid, or Galaga or Pac-Man. Those games are old as fuck. They're prehistoric, damn near. I'm not literally, but I'm saying they're really old. And the soul's still there. The fun factor is still there. You can see when you play Pac-Man, you can chasing those little ghosts around and trying to. You can be like, oh, I can see why this is fun. Like no matter how old you are, you can be a 12-year-old playing Pac-Man, a game that came out fucking what is it like 4 decades ago probably, and even a 12-year-old can see the fun factor. They'll get bored really quickly because it's very simple, right? And if they play Arkanoid, Pong, Arkanoid and Pong are very similar. Or Galaga, they'd be like, I told you, it's not hard at all to see the fun factor. But it's cool to see the seeds being planted in these games, right? Because now these games, they basically took that formula and have made and went from Galaga to open world games like Horizon Zero Dawn. Went from that to that, and it's like, whoa, like same thing with like D&D. Like back then, I wasn't alive during this time, but from what I hear, I think what is it in the 70s maybe? I think D&D came out in the 70s. Excuse me. I'm not sure. I'm not a D&D guy. Maybe 80s, but I do know that you had to actually use physical pen and paper in order to write stats and stuff like that. And now you have game engines that do that, and they pretty much keep that in order while you play the game. And I think that's really cool, man. Like when you really think about it, but I find myself thinking about like people who like old people, for example, stereotypes, right? When you think of an old person, right, you go, "Oh, old people are stubborn. They cling on to their ideals, they cling on to their beliefs, and of course, everything was better back in their day." Now, while some of this is true, right? I don't want to be that guy. Now that I'm getting older, and honestly, that's the main purpose I wanted to record this video because I find myself like having friends and also just people online who are older. And I'll tell you this specific video if I can remember of what made me like go like, ah man, I don't want to be like that guy. It was a comedian named Ari Spears. I'll talk about him in a second if I can remember, but I will say that I don't want to be that guy that's like out of touch and just I just sound bitter and upsetting. Um, at what's going on today. And I have trouble. I have trouble, right? And what I'm saying is like, for example, let's take music, right? Let's step away from video games for a second. Like for a second, like if this whole video wasn't about video games. I I have a video game channel where I barely talk about video games, talk about random shit. Enjoy. And also figure that out because obviously I can't figure it out. Whatever. Point is, let's talk about music for a second, right? So you've got artists from like the 90s, right? Who are still relevant today. Not a lot of them. It's very rare for somebody who's been around for that long to still be relevant, right? But they're still around. Like Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Ice Cube, uh, Dr. Dre, uh, Jay Z is a big one, right? Like these artists, they have transcended time essentially, right? Like they were around where all of the phases of hip hop, the gangster phase, the party popish hip hop phase, the now the more auto-tune phase. Like hip hop is growing, and it continues to grow, and each time it grows there's a new phase, there's a new trend, and these people have survived it all. And these are, I think about the average old person that's stubborn and clings to their beliefs. They don't make it far, right? Like for those who listen to hip hop and rap like I do, I mean, it's not the only genre I listen to, but that's the one I predominantly listen to. Not so much nowadays, but I used to a lot. Whatever. Point is, you've got cool artists. And when I say cool, I mean like good artists that I used to listen to a lot and were respected back in their day, but they're not so relevant today, right? Like Big Daddy Kane, right? One of the best artists I've heard from back in the day. Like people still know who Big Daddy Kane is, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying he's not as relevant as like Jay Z or anything like that. And I believe that's because uh, I'm not gonna say he's stuck in his ways, but like I don't think he's tried anything new, and that's the problem. It's not that he's not talented; it's just that I don't see no ingenuity. Like all the artists that I name, Ice Cube, even Ice T, a lot of ices here. Ice Cube, Ice T, Snoop Dogg, Jay Z. Not so much Jay Z, but let's focus on Ice T, Ice Cube, and Snoop Dogg. These guys, they stood relevant because of like shows and movies and doing media, right? Like not so much their music. So they transcended music and became like actors or entertainers or just like public figures of some sort. And I think that's cool because it's evolving. It's like okay, music. I can't do music like the young kids anymore with the auto tune and the crazy production. So it's like I'm just gonna go in my own lane and I'm gonna still stay relevant. And Jay Z, not so much media or movies, but like business. From what I hear, he's a smart businessman. I'm not sure, but that's what I hear. And I think that's cool that you transcended music and just kept evolving, kept growing, as opposed to the older people who are known to just be stubborn and stay stagnant. And just back in my day, everything was better. Like, I don't want to be that person. So I remembered what I said earlier about Ari Spears, this specific comic, which I like. I went to go see an Ari Spears show many, many years ago. When I was growing up, you had Saturday Night Live, and then you've had Mad TV. Mad TV always played like second fiddle to Saturday Night Live, but it was equally as funny, sometimes funnier. Um, so Ari Spears used to be a cast member for Mad TV, and eventually that ended, and then he started doing stand up, or maybe he was doing stand up the entire time. But I went to one of his shows, and just recently I heard him. Recently, as in like a couple days ago, he was in a video talking about um, hip hop trends and just making fun of the kids. And he just comes off like, even though he's joking, and it is funny, and there is some truth to what he's saying, right? Because that's what makes a joke effective, right? There has to be some sort of truth to it. But like you can tell, it was like it almost felt like like an attack, right? Like he was attacking uh the hip hop culture or what's going on nowadays. He was talking about London rappers. That was pretty funny. The way he was just like mimicking a English accent. He was like he hates London rap. He hates the way they sound. He hates English rap. Sorry. And I'm like, I understand because it's hard to understand because of the accent. So it's like, I wouldn't say I necessarily hate it, but it's not my thing. But whatever. Point is, I'm looking at him and I'm like, I hope that I don't become like that. I know that sounds fucked up, but like, and I don't say that as a diss to Ari Spears. I still like him. Obviously, I found what he said funny. Also, it's just like it just comes off like he's out of touch. It comes off like that, and I don't want to be that guy. I want to be one of the Jay Z's, the Ice Cubes. I want to transcend I want to be 60. Obviously, I'm nowhere near that successful. I would love to be that successful. No, actually, I don't even know. I got to be careful what I wish for. I wouldn't know. I don't know if I wouldn't be that successful. I value my privacy immensely, and I don't know if I can be that guy that everywhere I go, people are just like, hey, Ice Cube, and you're just trying to like eat some spaghetti with like your daughter or something to keep fucking bothering. I can't imagine. I think I don't know how much longer I can take that, to be honest. I would like to be rich, but the success part, not so much. I mean, maybe mildly successful, where it's like, hey, we kind of know who you are. Are you this guy? You can go, no, I'm not him, and they go, oh, okay. Like, I want to be that successful where I'm not like internationally recognized, like fucking Taylor Swift or like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to just be fucking a D-list actor. That's my dream, to become a D-list actor. Straight to DVD when DVD's like not even around anymore. That's how bad of an actor I'll be. That I'll go. My movies will go straight to a defunct technology. So yeah, I mean, all love to Ari Spears, but he just came off very out of touch, and that just made me. That was basically the basis to this video here, because it just made me think like, man, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be the ones who transcend age. Like, I want to be the one the ones who still understand what's going on, not only with technology, but with society, and also with whatever genre I happen to be in, whether it's, technology, whether it's music, whether it's, you know, YouTube. I'm trying my best to avoid the term content creator. I fucking hate that term. Just like I hate the term influencer. I hate those terms so much. I'll make a whole goddamn video about why I hate those two phrases. But anyways, I don't want to be the stubborn guy. So I'm thinking like I know there's some things that I can do, right? Like I do have some ideas, some tricks up my sleeve, some tactics as to not be bitter and complacent and stubborn, and that is be open-minded, right? Be the opposite of all those three things that I just named, right? Be open-minded, right? Like, do I like the music of today, specifically hip hop and rap? Hell no, I don't like it. But is that because I'm older and I come from a generation where lyrics meant quality, right? Or is it because the music is genuinely bad? And this is, I said earlier, I mentioned quickly, I said, I don't know, I'm having trouble. I'm having trouble. There's many times I find myself, okay, am I being stubborn? When I hear something that I don't like, that's made by a young person or a younger person than I am, I would go, okay, is it me being an old man right now, or is this shit really bad? Right? Sometimes I can't tell. I'm always flip flopping between the two. So sometimes it's really bad that even the young kids are like, this is terrible. And those are my favorite because, there's no more guessing. I have just recently, I'll tell you the topic we were talking about. One of the younger kids in my job, we were talking about Gambit. And me and him both agree that he's just terrible. Like, not only does Channing Tatum, I think that's his name, not only does he do a terrible accent? I don't give a fuck how accurate it is. That's not the point. Don't come up to me with that is how Cajun sound. I don't care. It sounds terrible. It just sounds terrible. Whatever he's doing, it sounds terrible. And I follow a guy, right, straight Cajun white boy named Stale Cracker, and he's from Louisiana. Anyone who knows who he is, he makes like cooking videos on Facebook. Yo, look him up, man. That dude he's the best. He's funny as hell. He's entertaining as a motherfucker. He makes some delicious food, although a lot of people kind of disagree because he's heavy-handed with his ingredients. I like that though. I like people who don't spend a lot of time sitting there measuring shit up. He just boom 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 throw something up. Maybe that's not the word I meant to use, but just cook something up and just, here you go, man, eat it. And you're like, all right, cool. But anyways, that motherfucker's Cajun. Hear the way he sounds. He's entertaining. He's funny. Gambit sounds nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. So, and he looks goofy as fuck. And I was telling this to my boy, right? I said, hey, man, um, for a long time now, we get mad at Marvel movies, DC movies, any type of superhero movies because they never really follow the source material. And not only the source material, but the actual look, the actual aesthetics of the superhero themselves. They're always changing something up. I never understood that until I saw Gambit. So and I was like, wow, Gambit looks exactly like he would look in the comic books, and I was like, instead of me being happy, I was like, ew. I got what I wanted and I hated it. And I'm like, I can finally understand why casting in Hollywood, I believe that's their job, why they switch things around in superheroes because it looks fucking dumb when they actually do it in, real time. And that's my opinion. I know it's controversial. I know many people disagree with me because I see it in the comments already. I see people that are on my side. They go, Gambit is stupid. He looks dumb. He sounds dumb. I'm in that camp. But I also see other people like that is the way, like the other young kid at my job. There's two of them. One that thinks he's terrible, and one that believes that that is the way Gambit should look and sound. And I'm like, bro, you're on your own there, at least with me. But me, to go back to my original point, is that every now and then, whenever I'm confused about something, I get happy when I'll look at something online and the young kids make fun of it too, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So it ain't just me. So my judgment is pretty good. It's still pretty good, which is good because that means that like I'm doing a good job and not being that stubborn old man that just stays stagnant and doesn't want to move. I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to bargain. You know, I believe that's also the secret. Not I'm not gonna say the secret to happiness. That sounds so cheesy. There is no secret to happiness, right? Like I forgot who said it, but I'll never forget the quote. This is one of my quotes. It's like engraved in my heart. Like to be happy is simple. To be simple is hard. So like I know that's a cliche line, and many of you have heard that before. But to the two that didn't hear that before. Basically, it's like it's very easy to be happy, but it's not. It's simple to be happy, but it's not. But it's hard to be simple. So it's like I know what I have to do to be happy, but it's hard to do it. That's basically what it's like exercise, right? It's like I know in order for me to get muscles and be in shape, I have to work out. I already have this knowledge. I know I have to do it, but I don't want to do it. That's the hard part to actually put it into practice. I'm trying. I know I'm not perfect, not just exercise. I mean, like I'm trying to stay, not married to my ideas because I used to be, when I was younger in my 20s, I was ready to fight motherfuckers whenever they insulted one of my ideas because I was married to them. I didn't know how to separate the idea from the man. Like, there were instances where I just exploded at friends because I said something serious and they started laughing and I thought that they were making fun of me and I took it to the heart, right? Now, at my age, I'll say something serious, they'll laugh, I'm smiling, I'm asking, why are you guys laughing? And then they'll tell me and I'll laugh with them. It doesn't change my viewpoint. I'm like, look, I'm still mean what I said, but I get why you think it's funny. Like, I'll give you a specific example. Like, I remember uh, the other day, the other day could mean like the other day is tricky because when someone says the other day, it could mean yesterday, it could mean a week ago, or it could mean 10 years ago. The other day, carries such a wide net. Maybe that's why people use it. So I'll use it here too. The other day, I remember I said something to one of my friends, right? We were in a conversation at his house, I believe, and I meant what I said. It wasn't a joke. I didn't even say it in a joking manner. I meant it. And he laughed. He just burst out laughing. And I remember looking at him puzzled. I was smiling, but I was puzzled. And I was like, what? What's so funny? And then he was just like, it's not what you said that's funny. He said, it was just so random. Like we were talking about this and then he just came out of nowhere with that. And I was like, oh, then I started laughing almost not only out of relief, but also because like, oh, I see, because he was talking about this particular thing, and then I just came out of left field with this. So even though he was laughing at the randomness in it, not the actual quality or content of what I'm saying. He was just like, dude, that was so random. He's like, I agree with what you said, but fuck, that was random. And I'm like, oh yeah, 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 my bad. If you have been listening to this for a while, you already know that I go from here to there, and I'm always trying to connect the dots. That's the only way I know how to conversate, man. I can't. It's hard for me to follow a strict rhythm, a strict standard. I like to kind of just flow all over the place. And sometimes I connect the dots and sometimes I don't. Sorry, I know it might drive some of you guys crazy, maybe especially the ones who crave structure, but I can't do that. I was gonna say I can't work like that, but this ain't a fucking job. I'm talking to the ether on YouTube. And then I'm very well aware of what I'm doing, right? Like I'm recording only voice videos in a platform that the vast majority of people go to watch physical videos. No one comes to YouTube to listen to audio. Scratch that. Scratch that. Let me rephrase that. People do come to YouTube to listen to audio, to listen to certain music, uh, and other things, podcasts. I get it. I understand. But the vast majority of people that come to YouTube, they come to watch a video, not listen to a video. Although there are people that listen to videos, and I'm one of them, and I make some of them, some of these videos. The vast majority of people who come to YouTube, they come to watch some shit, some how-to shit, or some Mr. Beast shit, or whatever it may be. So I'm aware that what I'm doing is not exactly the most popular thing, but that's okay. I'm not doing this for anything but my personal pleasure. It makes me feel like I've done something, right? Like on days where I don't know what to do myself, like today, right? Today it's a Sunday and I have the whole day to myself and I'm laying around in bed and I'm looking at Best Buy for like shit that I shouldn't buy, like headphones that I already have. And I'm just like, let me not be that guy to be excessive with my purchases. And I always try to practice like a minimalistic life. So I always refrain. But still, it helps fill the time to just window shop online. And there's days where I'm not doing much, like today, and I'm like kind of restless, honestly, and I'm like, what can I do that's kind of productive, but also, fun? And I'm like, well, fucking jump on this thing, man, record a video and speak to nobody, speak to the three people that listen to me. It's good for you, man. It's good to get it off your chest, and it's also just good to be consistent with a routine. Gives you a purpose of some sort. Whatever, man. I'm not here to fucking motivate you. But I guess what I'm trying to say with all of this is that getting older is tricky, and make sure that whatever you do, don't get caught up in patterns and don't get married to your ideas, like the examples I said earlier. Don't laugh with your friends. Whenever you say something serious and they laugh, understand that, like, if they're your real friends, they're not laughing at you, they're laughing with you. Now, of course, there's going to be situations where, you'll have quote unquote friends that are just laughing at you directly. In that case, you should use your own good judgment and go like, these aren't my buddies. I need to find real friends. But like, I would say if you have, good friends or friends that you hang out with regularly, they love you. They may not tell you that, but they enjoy your company and they'll make fun of you and all that. But don't take it to the heart. By the love, but don't be like me when I was younger. I used to explode at my friends. I was very nasty. I was very vindictive, very full of revenge. I'm not proud of that. I've said some things, I've done some things I'm definitely not proud of, but like, you get older and you hopefully acknowledge that your friends see that you've changed, and those that you haven't, there's friends I haven't spoke to in years. But I can tell you this now, there is not a friend alive right now, or even an ex-friend or even an ex-girlfriend that I've had that I can say with my heart that I hate. I'm pretty sure there's ex-girlfriends that hate me, and I'm pretty sure there's probably friends that hate me. But like from my end, like there's no one in this world today that I can say that I genuinely hate. There's people that I don't really want to talk to again if I can help it. Lots of people like that. There's people that I avoid whenever I can, not because of fear or nothing. It's just because I'm like, that chapter's done, and I already seen what kind of person you are, and I don't kind of need you in my life, like that type of deal. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I'm happy that there isn't no one in my life that I will consider an enemy. Not yet. I mean, we got time, right? Hopefully, if I live another 30 years, I'm pretty sure there's probably be someone that I want to fucking punch in the throat. But as of 2024, there aren't no real enemies in my life, and that is a blessing, right? That is like, I don't know how much people can say that, or how many people can say that, rather. Don't be stubborn, man. That's the main thing here. And you will get stubborn because it's a natural human inclination to kind of just stick to what you believe and stick to what you do, and don't fall in that trap, man. It's very easy to don't be bitter. Be open minded, even with some things that you don't like. Don't take yourself so seriously. That's at least what I'm trying to follow. I mean, you do whatever the hell you want. You can listen to me for a half hour and then just shut off YouTube and then just go on a fucking rampage and punch everyone in the face. Do what you got to do, man. I mean, I would not suggest that. Just to make it clear, I'm all about peace, but it's your life, man. It's your life. And I want to stick around for a while. I want to see what technology has to offer, what music has to offer, what comedy has to offer, and I want to make sure that whatever I'm getting offered, I want to make sure that I'm seeing with an open heart and an open mind. I want to make sure that I don't want to let my own biases and my own views and opinions cloud my judgment and also just refrain me and stop me from enjoying things, especially new things. I want to approach everything with a smile and, all that other gay shit. I'm out of here. Thanks for listening. I don't know exactly what this video was about. I think it was uh old people. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But thanks for listening. Appreciate it.